Thank you so much for that gorgeous welcome, someone that's become a friend, so it's lovely that you can welcome me up on the stage. So I am Zoe Morris, I am Global Expansion Team, and I've been with Herbalife for 2.5 years. So my section today is follow-up and results. It's a really important part of the pathway, and it's one of my favourite parts, actually. But before I go into my section, I'm just going to share my story. So I met my upline mentors on the beach. So I didn't see any posts on social media. I was actually sat on the beach, probably in the worst shape of my life, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was pretty much broken, and I was in desperate need of inspiration. And this little puppy came over to play with my dog, and the couple that came over to get that puppy back were Sarah and John Paul. And that meeting changed my life. So they had branded gear on, so they were wearing the brand, and that started a conversation. That conversation, they saw something in me that they recognized I was a people person, and they planted a seed about nutrition clubs, the fact that they existed, and the seed was planted. So first of all, I got on my own journey. I had an incredible product result very quickly, and I started to share that on social media. So initially I was online, and people just started watching because I was sharing all the time, constantly, my product result, how good I was feeling, how much my life was improving, and people started asking me what I was doing. So from there, I just sort of naturally went into coaching, and that was online. But then a month into my journey, I went to go to Grassendale Nutrition for a wellness evaluation to just go and check it out and see what this nutrition club was all about. I walked into that appointment that day with a bit of apprehension, but what met me when I walked in was this wall of positivity. People were coming over and hugging me that I didn't even know. I felt like I was in a room of mates that I'd known for years, and it was just the most positive, uplifting place that I'd ever been into. I felt like I'd almost come home. It was amazing. So I was completely clubbed straight away. What I did then was I basically carried on going to Grassendale as a member, but then went on to become a trainee coach there, but I didn't build my business in Grassendale. So my home is 45 minutes journey from Grassendale. It's through the Mersey Tunnel, under a river, and I built my business online, and I learned the skills in Grassendale. So I did that work experience in Grassendale for 10 months, and I built my business online so that when I got my club, which I did in July 2022, I got the keys to what is now Wirral Nutrition. I opened in profit because I moved my business from online into my club. So I completed my 6-week pre-launch, and I went to work and opened my club for breakfast visits. Now, at first, I was very much the Zoe show. So I could build a front line. So I had this huge front line, but not a lot going on underneath it. So I really needed to connect with the pathway. So a few months into club being open, when I got used to, the day-to-day run-ins, I really connected with the pathway, and I listened to all the golden nuggets of information that I'd heard at these events. I heard people like Grace doing role plays on how to move people through the pathway, and I connected with it. And it was then that duplication happened, and I started to move people through to supervisor. So I can now duplicate. Sorry, my clicker's not working. It's not working. There we go. So the power of following the pathway. So I now have 2 other clubs in my organisation. So I have Wirral Nutrition, I have CBC Nutrition, and Cloud9. I am incredibly proud of my team, and I've got loads of team in the room today, and it just means the world to me to have them here. After so long of it being just the Zoe show, to have those people in the room means the world, and we just have the best time. We have fun every morning. So this is what my business looks like. As Lou said, I do consistently hit 20k. Well, it's just for doing something I love, and it's for the power of 5 new customers a week. That's all I've done since the day one, and just followed this incredible pathway. My Herbalife income has allowed me to do the most incredible things that I never really imagined before. My background, by the way, was in retail optics. I actually owned an optician's, but I never ever earned the kind of money that I earn now. This is what my club looks like. We're actively looking for our next premises for our junior partner, who's Sarah, who's in the room, and there is another junior partner soon to be activated also in the room as well. So I just live my best life. Like, I literally love my life. It is, I have every day I work with purpose. I've made the most incredible friends. There's no way I can thank everybody personally because we've got a party to get ready for. But I'm forever grateful to every single person that's made a difference to my journey. So my why is my sister. So any of my other slides, guys, I don't mind you taking photos, but please don't share this one on social media because my sister wants to keep her private. But my sister's lived in New Zealand for the last 7.5 years. That's been really hard because during those 7.5 years, that was actually the hardest time of my life. I've been through the toughest times. And my why has been to try and be so that I can live nearby with my sister again. On Monday, I'm flying to New Zealand to bring my sister home. And the reason that's so life-changing is not only did I just pay for the flight like that with, very little, didn't bother me income-wise, but also for my family. My mum and dad are elderly. My dad's got dementia. This was never going to happen by them going over to New Zealand. So this was the only way. And I've been able to afford to pay for my sister's rent for the first 6 months of her coming back to the UK with my Herbalife income. So my sections follow-up results. As I said, one of my favourite parts of the pathway. And this is the part that is directly after you have put somebody on their Herbalife plan. So when we sign somebody up as a new member, you might think you've done all that work inviting, like Debbie spoke about earlier, you've done the wellness evaluation that Grace has told us all about. You may think, yes, that's it, I've got this customer now, but you've got to keep them. And this is our first opportunity to make sure that we're going to retain that customer, that member. So we have a 2-week induction. Why do we do this? So the power of the 2-week induction is absolutely key. So in their first 2 weeks, before they have their first 2-week evaluation, we need to make sure that they are coming into club consistently, regularly, being around the fire, getting lots of information and sharing with the community, because every single time they're in that room, they're going to hear people sharing ideas, people sharing their results, seeing other people get recognized for their results. And we're creating those healthy habits, those good habits that are going to give people not just a result, but a sustainable result. We need to change their habits forever, because in some cases we're unpicking decades worth of bad habits here. You can't do that by seeing people once or twice a week. So they get daily coaching and support. They are accountable every single time they're in. We get the results moving fast so that they can start referring. So we've spoken so much already on this pathway about how important the referrals are to grow your business. So the faster we get the results, the quicker we're going to find those referrals as well. We're going to gradually educate and shift their mindset. They're going to get recognition, because don't forget, like that feeling that I got when I walked into Grassendale, people have probably never had that level of positivity in their lives, possibly ever. So when we can make them feel good on a daily basis, they're going to remember that, and it's going to keep them in as a club member. And it's all about, so few people have said the word clubbed. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it doesn't mean we're going to like hit people with a club. It means that feeling. So I said before, when I walked into Grassendale, it was that feeling I felt in my heart of what a nutrition club can bring to somebody. That is what clubbed means. It's that emotion and that feeling that you get when you connect with it. So on their daily visit, during this follow-up and results period, they weigh daily. So why do we do daily weigh-ins? Number one is accountability. So we need to keep them accountable, and we need to do that on a regular basis. Because remember, a lot of our members especially in the UK, I'm not sure about what other countries are like, but in the UK, we see a lot of our members, the only thing they've really known is weekly weigh-in diet clubs. And we are not one of those, so we need to keep them more accountable than that. We're going to educate them about their daily weight fluctuations, because the human body is not supposed to lose weight like that. It's supposed to do this, yeah, and have fluctuations in it. And we need to make sure that we manage their expectations of that. And we need to shift their mindset from that diet mentality that they're more than likely in before they join us, and embed that sustainable habit change that's going to give them long-lasting results. And those results are going to lead to the referrals. So we are not a weekly weigh-in diet club. What does their daily visit include? So Grace touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail. So we have that amazing welcome. You know, when they walk into the room, that is so powerful, that feeling that they get when they see that this is a positive place with happy, positive people who are all energetic and, you know, really, really welcoming. They get that daily weigh-in that we've just spoken about. They get their breakfast. Like, where else are they going to get an aloe, tea, and a smoothie? And on average, these breakfast visits cost around about £5 a day on average. Like, all of that already is amazing, isn't it, for that amount of that value? They get a mini coaching session on food diaries and meal ideas and snack lists. And I'm going to bring somebody on shortly who's going to talk to you more about food diaries. Guidance on how to use the products at home, which is really important. So we're not just giving them the products for home use, we're actually showing them in person how to use them. They get that daily recognition, making them feel good. They also get their 10th visit reviews included in this price as well, so we're not charging them for our time when we do a review with them. And they get that incredible community support and the opportunity to build relationships, but not just that, with like-minded people, because that's what they're not going to have anywhere else. It's that like-minded people. So when you bring this kind of value and results to the marketplace, you are never going to come up against against cost as an objection. Okay, so I am now going to bring on an incredible lady. I'm really excited to hear what she's going to say. She is a consistent 10,000 personal volume hitter, and she's been achieving that every single month since May 2023, so almost a year. You may recognize her from having walked the red carpet at Kickoff 2024 for top personal volume for non-tab team. And she is brand new active world team. Her name is Helen Harrington.
I have been 21 months with Herbalife. My background is I was in the NHS for 30 years and I worked as a nurse. So it is my absolute pleasure to come to you today to talk to you about food diaries and how in my club I've used food diaries to help my members get insane results and to help my business to grow. I'm going to share some top tips and golden nuggets that are going to help you. Firstly, I'd like to say a massive big thank you to my sponsor. She's not in the room today, but big thanks to her. But also to my mentors, Gav and Grace, who have believed in me, cheered me on, pushed me way out of my comfort zone, helped me every step of the way to get to this point, and I wouldn't be here without them. I also want to thank my amazing team, past and present and future. So before Herbalife, I was a yo-yo dieter all my life. I've snacked on crisps and chocolate. I was a coffee addict and I had no energy and I felt like an old lady at 55. Now I snack on nutritious snacks. I love my thermo tea. I have loads of energy. I've had a lift off in mine just before. And I feel in the best health of my adult life. So, oh, that's gone backwards. So my journey began as a club member in Hunts Cross Nutrition Club, where I joined desperate to lose weight. I very quickly got results. I was really skeptical, but I very, very quickly got results and absolutely loved clubs. As Zoe said, I was clubbed, but not over the head. Within about 4 days, my energy was up and I was really, really loving it. 2 weeks in, I had my review and I went on to our ambassador call because I went through the pathway. At that time, I thought, ooh, coaching, maybe I could do that. But at the time, I really, really needed to look after me, and I wasn't in a good place. So it wasn't for me then. At that point in time, I was working as a health protection specialist with a local authority. The job was a fixed-term contract, and it was going to come to an end. And I absolutely hated it. I wasn't making a difference to anybody's life at all. So a couple of months down the line, I'm in club. You couldn't get me out of there. And Gav's like, are you not going to work? I was like, yeah. Anyway, conversation was had, and I ended up sitting down and having a conversation, and I activated as a trainee coach. And I thought, I'll give it a go. I can't let it overwhelm me, but let's give it a go. So I did, and I loved it. Guys, I was making a difference to people's lives straight away. Customers started to come. I started to grow quite organically. And then we went along to our first event, Winter Spec, where I was just blown away. I saw speaker after speaker going onto that stage, telling their stories, ordinary people like me. And I thought, God, could I do that? Maybe I could. And I actually cried most of the way home with my hubby. I took my husband with me. I have no idea why, but he was coming. And he's come to every single event, and I've never missed an event. And he's my biggest supporter. So, carried on, came home, sat down with Gav and Grace and made a plan. How was I going to go from a full-time job with a good income, even though it was going to end? How was I going to transition to full-time Herbalife? So Grace said to me, Helen, you're going to end up on a ledge, feels a bit like this ledge, and you're going to end up jumping or taking a step back. A couple of weeks later, an email arrived. The fixed-term contract was not going to be extended because there was a bit of a promise of that, and the job was going. And I thought, I don't even want that job. I'm jumping. So I activated as junior partner and went full-time in January 23. It was a huge decision because we still are in debt. We have paid nearly £10,000 of credit card off in about the last 6 months, which is just insane. We were in debt. That was a big income to give up. It was a huge decision of courage and vision, but without the mentorship program and the career ladder behind it, I wouldn't have been able to make that decision. But I knew I had that backup. I knew that I had that Herbalife family behind me, and I could do it. So I became junior partner, and I then went on, built my club, and picked it up and took it in July 23 and opened my club, Compass Nutrition, with 60 club members and 4 trainee coaches. And it is the absolute best place to spend 6 of my mornings a week, and I love it. So my why are my family, my husband, Dean, my soulmate, my absolute best friend, my 2 gorgeous kids who, like Carol, I adopted, or Dean and I adopted them when they were 3 and 4, and they come from a background of drug abuse and domestic violence, and we've been able to change their life. But what I want to do is leave something for them for the rest of their lives, a legacy for them to go on and live the best life that they can. I've been asked to share my volume and my profit, so there's my volume, 10K plus every month since May 23, and my income, and yeah, that is, I'm growing and I'm continuing growing, and I'm going to go. So this is how Compass Nutrition looks currently, and that's what it looks like in the morning with the sunrise. I absolutely love it. And so now into this section. So why do we use a food diary? Okay, so I know when Grace said to me, you need to write everything you eat and drink down, I thought, wow, that's a bit boring. It's a bit of a chore. Did you think it was a bit of a chore?
I did, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah. So, but do you know what? Here's the thing. I've written a food diary for 12 months and got to target, so they absolutely work. Using a food diary is going to help our club members get into good daily habits. It's going to help them get into new routines. It's going to keep them accountable. And guys, it's going to get them results. If we nibble it, we scribble it. We all forget the corner of cheese that we cut off in the fridge, the extra scoop of mayo. I know my own habits best. But if you've got a food diary and your club members have got a food diary, you're going to think twice about what you put in your mouth. That means we're more likely to follow it, which guess what, guys? We're going to get those results. The results that we as wellness coaches promise our club members that they're going to get in that wellness evaluation. If we bite it, we're going to write it. So, this clicker's really stiff, isn't it? So, in breakfast budget clubs, we provide world-class customer service, yeah? We've heard that several times this weekend already. When we send our club members home with that physical piece of paper in their hand, no matter what happens to them during that day, they are going to know they've got value from that club visit. So, we use a food diary to plan the club member's day. What's the day like for that club member? There's no point in planning an omelette if they're in work and they can't make it. So I always ask, first thing I say, what we're doing today, are we in work? Are we out and about? What's happening? So we're going to plan their meals, keeping it simple, using meal ideas and snack lists. If we snack it, we're going to track it. We're going to map out our club members' 4 to 5 weekly visits, okay? And it's really important that we do that. And I'm going to show you a little bit how we use the food diary, how to do that in a bit. Our food diary is going to allow us to steer the type of coaching that our club member needs. There are 2 types of coaching, TLC, tender loving care, or tough love coaching. Which one do we need? All of our club members need us to be their cheerleaders. They need us to hug them. They need us to recognise their changes and celebrate the successes. But sometimes we need to do the other type of coaching, the tough love coaching. So Zoe, you're out on the town tomorrow night. Well, you're out tonight. You're eating and you're drinking and you've just said to me, Helen, I'm not having a smoothie today. Yeah? So I'm going to say, Zoe, do you want those results that we spoke about in the wellness evaluation?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. So do you know what we need to do? We're going to need to have our smoothie, we're going to need to have our snacks, and we're going to stay on plan through the day. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Guys, that is your tough love coaching. That is where we've got to be really strong and let our club members know what they need to be doing. So, have I done everything on there? So we can use our food diary exactly the same way, face-to-face or online. They are perfectly capable of using them for both. So I'm just going to grab my food diary now, and I'm going to do a bit of role play with Zoe. So Zoe. Okay. So Zoe, this is that food diary for the day, yeah? Mm-hmm. So how have we done today?
Yeah, all right, yeah. I think I've had about 2.5 litres of water.
Okay. How much have we lost today?
700 grams.
That's amazing. Well done, you.
Thanks.
Okay. So, what are we doing today?
I'm going out this afternoon shopping.
Okay. So we've popped down here and a couple of eggs on our food diary this afternoon. Are they going to work while you're out shopping, peeling an egg?
Really. You can't peel an egg while you're shopping.
What about if we had a Herbalife snack on there? You've got a protein bar here. What about if we had a packet of our chips?
Yeah, I want something savoury, so I'll have the crisps.
Fab. Guys, here's a top tip. Use at least one Herbalife snack per day. Are there any volume points in an egg?
No.
Absolutely not. So that's a top tip. Fantastic, Zoe. So we're going to pop your chips on there. So we've got your protein in there, mm-hmm. your protein target in there, yeah?
Yeah.
So we've smashed that, yeah? So protein, we want our protein target to be hit minimum. Why? Because protein keeps us full, builds muscle, drops your body fat, and shrinks you in. So your timings are on there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We're going to eat every 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our timings are key, because what they're going to do is they're going to keep our blood sugars balanced, and they're going to keep our body firing up and using the calories that we give it. Water. You said you got 2.5 litres in yesterday. Your target's 3. Yeah? Oh, do you know what? So you're absolutely winning because you didn't drink any water before.
No.
But let's try for a little bit more today, yeah?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write on here, focus on on water in the bottom of your diary today. Highlighting that, to focus on that at the bottom of the diary, just gives her that little push to try and get that bit more water in. It's going to really help her. So, when are we next in club, lovely?
I'll come tomorrow.
Great. Well, it's Saturday today, it's Sunday, we're closed tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll come on Monday. Hashtag never miss a Monday. What about Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
And then when next?
Friday.
Friday. Fab. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that they're going to be accountable, getting into club, getting them 4 to 5 visits in, being accountable. So we've planned Zoe's club visits out for the rest of the week, and I highlight these at the top of the food diary so that they can see, she can see that, and then she knows she's coming into club. There's a section on the bottom of the diary that I always use, and we can use this to highlight how are you feeling. So if they've had, when they're first in club, if they're hungry, they can write that on, and then we can tackle that because we want to make sure that we're keeping people nice and full. I'm just going to get rid of this food diary for a sec. Right. Where am I? Let's go. So, additional benefits of your food diary. So, we can use our food diaries also to create an opportunity to talk about foods and different recipes in club. Some people might be a bit bored with their diaries and with the food they're eating, so we can use other club members. Mary, what do you like to have for your tea? What snacks do you like, Rita? And basically, we can create that massive community of support. That's what it's about in club. It's support, it enhances that community. And also, we can use old food diaries to go back to them when our weight loss might stall. I know that happened to me. I got my first few weeks' food diaries out, went back, followed the same thing, and my results rocketed again, so we can use them for that. Food diaries are also a really, really, really good tool for upgrading. They're a nice, gentle way to upgrade onto other products. So if somebody's struggling with the water like Zoe was, what I could have said to her was, why don't we pop a hydrate in your water? And then we've started her using hydrates, upgraded her onto another product. It might be that someone says, well, I'm a bit hungry, so we're going to pop another scoop of PDM in the smoothie, using a bit more product, more volume points. And it might be that we're constipated, and I don't mean in the pathway. We might be constipated, oat apple fibre. I can tell you it's amazing. But you know what? If I say it's amazing to my club members, it's not so powerful. But if I ask Sue, who takes it in her morning smoothie and is absolutely having great bowel movements every day and never did, then we're going to listen, aren't we? And we're going to upgrade to oat apple. We all want a smooth move, guys. So my top tips are food diaries are going to get you results by creating new daily habits, keeping us accountable, and keeping it simple. If you get results, guys, for your club members, you can take them out into the marketplace. That's going to mean more referrals, which means your business is going to grow. You're going to be happy. Your customer's going to be going through the pathway to 50% as an ambassador, and everyone's going to be happy, and it's a win-win. So food diaries are, as I say, keeping it simple. If you nibble it, what are we going to do? If you snack it, and if you bite it, food diaries are king. Thank you. Handing back to Zoe.
So a little bit more about that third-party upgrading. Helen just touched on it a little bit there in relation to food diaries, but this third-party upgrading can happen all the time in the room, okay? So what you want to do is create a culture of sharing in your club. So make it the norm for your club members, new and old, to share their experiences, to share what products they use, and to share how that links to the results that they've got as well. So just make that the norm, encourage those conversations and create that culture of sharing, and you'll get people buying products and using products because somebody else told them to, not just you. So you really work in that room, because don't forget, that's what, you know, it generates all these referrals coming in, which is what goes on to grow your business as well. And that ultimately, you know, the whole pathway is all about moving people from customer to supervisor. So referrals are what is going to get, that is exactly why my business popped in the way that it did, because I learned how to use those referrals to move people through to supervisor. So sharing recognition boards and just sharing generally the results from your club on social media. So this is a huge one for me, and it's another big reason why I've been successful in nutrition clubs, because there is a culture of sharing in my club and in the clubs that are in my organisation as well. We just make it the norm. So we don't just do photographs of the daily recognition boards. We also do videos. So every time they have a review, we do a video. And you've got an audience in the room, and you've also got an audience on social media that you can use that content to share into the marketplace. So flood your social media with results. We've said it before, somebody mentioned it earlier. You know, we're not a weekly club. We're open daily. So show people that we're open daily by flooding the marketplace with daily results and recognition. And we write positive messages on these boards as well. So if someone does have a little bit of a gain, a positive message goes on there. And you're not just showing people that you're open daily, but you'll get people watching for quite a long time. So sometimes you might not be the relatable person, but they might see somebody on social media who is relatable to them. So they might have been telling themselves a story or making excuses about why they can't do this or why they shouldn't join that club. But they might then see somebody who's the similar age to them, had similar health issues before, and then they start to see that that's the relatable person and that they can actually do it. So flood the marketplace with results, and that will generate the referrals that you're looking for. These videos, though, that I spoke about before, that is so powerful. So when we do these videos, the people in the room are watching. So that is where they connect with the emotion. So we've mentioned the word clubbed. If you want to get people to feel the power of the results that we generate in their hearts so that they become clubbed and you retain them as a club member and they go and tell everyone how amazing they feel, those videos will help you do that, because you're connecting with the emotion, which is not as easy to do on a photo, but my advice would be definitely do both. So when you've shared the results on social media, there's two ways that you can share them, okay? So some members might not feel fully confident creating the post themselves. So if they're not, then you can share the post and then you tag them into the post so that it's their audience on social media, all their friends, and then it's also yours as well. Or if they don't feel comfortable creating the post at all, then you can create that post for them, and then you can share it on your social media and tag them in. So either way, both audiences on social media get to see that information and those results. So do whatever the customer feels comfortable with, but the really important thing here as well is we've got to protect the privacy and confidentiality of our members. Never share anything without permission, because the minute you do that is the minute that we break their trust. Okay, so really make sure that you get permission from the person before you post anything and tag them in. When you've shared the result on social media, we now need to follow up. So Debbie mentioned this before, sharing the post on socials, but when we follow up, we need to make sure that as the coach, it's our responsibility to then follow up the likes and comments. So for anybody that's liked and commented on a post from one of my members, I would then send them a personal message. So it would be usually in Facebook or Instagram, but it would be a personal message, and I actually address them by name. So it doesn't sound spammy. It doesn't sound like it's a generic robotic message. It's actually addressed to them by name. And my message is a thank you. It's a thank you to them for supporting that person on their journey, because that is really important to the individual that's getting the results, to have that level of support when they've had the bravery to share something on social media. So thank them, and then that's your opportunity to say that you're the person to speak to if they want more information, not just for them, but it might be for a friend or family member. So I always say, you know, if you or anybody you know has body and health goals, let me know, and I'm the one that'll give you information. So make sure you follow them up as well. So we've spoken already about hearts today. So what are hearts? A heart, we as a referral, basically, it's a new club member. So when you win hearts in club by connecting to that emotion that I spoke about before, this is when you will really make it easy for your club members to bring new people in. For 2 hearts, people get an account, an ambassador account with their discount. For 3 hearts, that's 3 club members, they get 10 free breakfast visits. So we spoke about before how incredible value for money this is. Now we're going to give them 10 free breakfast visits. For 5 new club members, they get 30 free breakfast visits. So Natalie said before how she only paid for one course of 10 visits, and then all her others were free because she referred so many people. How amazing is that, when it's already incredible value anyway? So it's about winning hearts to collect hearts, and if you club people and you get them results, that is going to generate a lot of referrals, and I'd say probably 80% of my business is based on referrals. So my top tips for follow-up and results is that every club member must start on a 2-week induction, and they must visit 4 to 5 times per week in that first 2 weeks. Be really, really strong on this, because we are results-driven, and it's a really important part of their journey. Use the third person wherever possible to help you upgrade that person and open their eyes to what other products are available. Focus on delivering world-class customer service to our members, because again, this is what's going to help us generate referrals. Use that daily recognition to make people feel good, and then share them on social media. And really work the room to win hearts. So it's all about connecting to that emotion to win the hearts. We are results-driven, okay? So I'll just leave you with this. Clubbed plus results equals referrals. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you make them feel.